Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. Happy Easter to you all. Welcome to one of the most demanding circuits in the world of motorsport, the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. We're getting set for 3 more races in the BSR Mazda MX-5 Cup. This is races 10, 11 and 12 of the season. And joining me, Adam Bath, in the commentary box on this Easter Sunday, it's Sam Kumo. Now, apologies to everybody that was tuning in early for the IMSA Sports Car Series race. We had a bit of an issue getting into the session, but we are here today at Sam Kumo. Mazda MX-5s around the 7-kilometre circuit here at Spa. It's going to be brilliant.
Thanks, Adam. And what a circuit it is. The car, that's not something I'm very used to, but this track is one of my favorites, and I've usually been doing very well here. So really looking forward to how these guys handle this.
So when you feel the championship standings heading into round 10 of the championship, a 36 race season. Rob Hartley, as there's crashes going on in qualifying, and there's going to be repercussions for that because you are not allowed to change your car, and that's going to be problems for Adam McNally and Peter Van Gool, 2 Youth Energy teammates. But yeah, in the championship standings, it's Rob Hartley leading the way, 2 wins to his name this season, and the MHR Foxfoot Racing driver leads Stelian Chapelewski by 24 points. Chapelewski getting a win last week at Silverstone in race 1. Steve Hefford in 3rd, who also claimed a victory last week, is 69 points behind Rob Hartley. Ash Beard in 4th, Rob Hartley's MHR Foxfoot Racing teammate. He's yet to win a race though this season, the reigning champion. And then in 5th place, highest of the Pro-Ams, it is Waltham. Martin Waltham, he is 126 points behind. Then it's Max Wright in 6th, 7th Dan Hunt, 8th Adam McNally, 9th Roy Verke and 10th Brian Holmes. Interestingly enough, Brian Holmes also has 2 wins to his name this season. However, he lies at the very bottom of the top 10 in points. In the Pro-Am standings, Martin Waltham leads Max Wright by just 4 points. It is very close there. Roy Verke in 3rd, Kevin Woods 4th, Kip Stevens in 5th, Matthew Keeber also in 5th as well. Joint 5th, those 2 drivers, the Pro Sim and the Privateer. Of course, Matthew Keeber doing very well in the BSR TC recently. 7th is Michael Barry, 8th Peter Van Gool, and then 9th Adam Delmont, with Pete Newman, interestingly enough, in the Pro-Am Championship. And he too has a win to his name. He took a race victory at Laguna Seca, the opening race meeting of the season. And we'll inform you on the rookie standings. In fact, we'll move on to the team standings actually. MHR Foxfoot Racing, 86 points ahead of Team Momo, with Youth Energy 3rd, ProSim 4th, Automech 5th, BAM Esport in 6th, dmracing.co.uk in 7th, Super GT Racing in 8th, 9th, Just Having Fun Racing, and at the back in 10th is We Are Grip. Qualifying session just coming to an end now, and Sam, just looking at the lap times, 2 minute 46, it's nearly a 3-minute lap, and with 3 15-minute races coming up, we're not going to get too many laps done around this circuit, so the drivers are going to have to get on it right from the get-go.
Yeah, and that was one of the concerns that drivers were having before the qualify, because it was only a 10-minute qualify session, but with this long track you only get a couple of laps, and this is not one of those. This is one of those circuits that is very unforgiving in regards to 1x incidents. So there were some concerns if it's long enough, or does it need to be longer this time around for the qualify.
Of course, you were racing in the BSR Porsche Cup on Thursday. We were at Watkins Glen for that one. You had mixed race. What was it like from your perspective?
Well, the race 1 was pretty good, but in the second race I started from the back, got caught up on some incidents, ended up spinning twice, but managed to recover some points. And I think it was surprising how difficult the Watkins Glen is with the Porsche, because it's very loose up the hill and even under the braking zones.
And of course, the official series, I think we're racing at the Nordschleife this week?
Yeah, that's the Nordschleife. I'm way off the pace there, but just been having fun and driving it.
Of course, that series is on tomorrow on Apex Racing TV, Easter Monday. That gets underway at about 8:45 British Summer Time and 9:45 Central European Time. Well, qualifying is finished, but we've just got some lap times coming in. Late lap there by Brian Holmes, the winner of race 3 last week at Silverstone. He's just put himself up into 2nd position on the grid. Dan Hunt, though, looking very good at the moment, 0.2 of a second ahead of Brian Holmes. See who else is out on a lap.
We have Lorne Murray. Yes.
Ah, Lorne Murray. Coming into the bus stop chicane now, one of the key overtaking points on the circuit. Currently in 15th place, a personal best of 250.069. Is he going to be able to improve as he comes over the timing line? There it is, 249.608. It is an improvement, and it moves him up into a 13th position. So a good late lap there from Lorne Murray. I think that is everyone done. So let's run you through the 25 car field that we've got today. Dan Hunt starting on pole position. Second is Brian Holmes. Ash Beard with the number 1 on his car, the reigning champion, starting in 3rd. Elian Shepelevsky starting in 4th place. Lee Diemer in 5th. Martin Wolfram, the Pro-Am leader, starting in 6th. 7th, Steve Hefford. 8th, Cesaro Rizzo. 9th, Adam Delmont. And 10th is Peter Van Gool. Kip Stevens starting in 11th. Jamie Ayres in 12th. 13th is Lorne Murray with Colin Robinson in 14th. 15th, Ben Landemore with Matthew Keever in 16th. Adam McNally in 17th place with Alan Mitchell in 18th. Roy Ververke in 19th. Lee Barmer in 20th. 21st, Kevin Woods. And then the cars that didn't set times in the qualifying session. You've got myself, don't know why I'm there, but you've got Christoph Kiard, and you've also got Ben Hamlet as well. So not 25 cars, because I'm up in the commentary box. There's going to be 24 cars taking to the grid.
Yeah, no fear. Adam won't be driving and talking at the same time. He's just here in the booth.
We could try, but it wouldn't be too good, would it? Well, it probably wouldn't be the most professional thing to do anyway. I noticed that we're going to be starting on the endurance layout today, so the cars will be going into Eau Rouge. And Sam, I think the drivers, they'll be trying to really take it pretty easy through that section, and then once we get onto the Kemmel Straight, then we can start the slipstreaming and overtaking.
Yeah, I would expect the drivers to take it a little bit careful on the first lap, especially with the cold tires, and maybe start attacking on the second lap or towards the end of the first lap.
Yeah, something we've seen this season since the latest build from iRacing is that the Mazda MX-5s, they seem a little bit more slippery this year.
I think that has been the case with most of the cars that have received this latest tire model. It feels very forgiving at the edge, but it takes a while for the tires to heat up and before you can really push it.
Well, I remember the first race of the season last time we were in the BSR Mazda MX-5 was at Spa-Francorchamps. We saw 3 brilliant races there. Probably going to see the same here, and I do remember we hit the top 5 or top 10 at least were pretty bunched together, so it's going to be difficult to pick a winner out of this lot. And with just 20 seconds to go until lights out, the tension is starting to mount here. You can see the 2 teammates starting in 2nd and 3rd, the MHR Foxfoot Racing duo of Brian Holmes and Stelian Chepelevsky, Brian Holmes and Ash Beard I should say, Stelian Chepelevsky there, and then another MHR Foxfoot car in Lee Diemer. Not too long to go then. Here we go. Cars on the grid getting ready for race 10 of the BSR Mazda MX-5 here at Spa. Runs away. You can see the cars lighting up the rear tyres on the exit, and at the top 3 all slot into position. A good start for Martin Wolfram. He's already up into 5th place. Lee Diemer, the MHR Foxfoot car, down to 6th place going into Eau Rouge, and Steve Hefford, that is Steve Hefford looking at the inside as well as we go through Eau Rouge for the first time. Of course, on lap 2 they'll be going a lot quicker than that, and here comes Brian Holmes. He's going for the lead already, and the car's now starting to fan out as we head down the Kemmel Straight. Watch out for 3 wide and possibly even 4 wide in some situations. That's Stelian Chepelevsky going through the middle. He's in the middle, 3 wide, and he should take the lead. Will Martin Wolfram go through with him? He might, but he gets out of it. Stelian Chepelevsky takes the lead then. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Dan Hunt and Brian Holmes. And now we're going through the Lacombe chicane, and now through Malmedy and on towards Rivage at the bottom of the hill. And Sam, for the most part, apart from that little brush between Chepelevsky and Dan Hunt, pretty clean start so far.
Yeah, and great move by Chepelevsky. It all started when Dan Hunt didn't get the best run out of the Rouge, and Chepelevsky was able to draft Brian Holmes and then make a move on both of them.
Problems for Lorne Murray. We saw the late lap he put in that made him start 13th on the grid, but he's had a problem at Rivage. Just looking on a replay, looks like he gets into that is Ben Landemorn. He stops to let him recover, so good sportsmanship driving there from Lorne Murray, but problem for those two in the early going. And now into the Fania chicane. It's Chepelevsky leading Brian Holmes in second. Dan Hunt's the biggest loser out of all that, down to third. Then Ashbeard in fourth place. He'll be eager to get by because he can see Brian Holmes and Selin Chepelevsky starting to pull away already. And it's Martin Waltham, Lee Deemer, Steve Hefford, Cesaro Rizzo, Adam Delmont, and then side-by-side racing between Jamie Ayres and Peter Van Gool. That's over 10th position. A few position changes going already as we head towards the fastest part of the circuit. Sam Blanchemont, and then one of the key overtaking points on the circuit, the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, and here we see is that Chepelevsky and Dan Hunt. Hunt may be looking forward for to make an overtake here.
It looks like that Brian Holmes might have taken the lead back from Selin Chepelevsky there going
no,
in.
that is actually Brian Holmes who has made it past Chepelevsky. Yes.
Yes, it is. Brian Holmes second on the grid now, leading the race going into the bus stop chicane. Dan Hunt trying his best to get as close as he can. You can see them running onto the AstroTurf on the exits. Not too punishing here, Spa-Francorchamps, but the drivers have been given 20 incidents, so you'd think they shouldn't reach that limit in this race. And with the slipstream, it seems to be pretty beneficial around this circuit. So what's probably the gap that you need to get that slipstream? It's about a second or so.
For the long straight, maybe second, but you want to be around the half a second and not too close going into the corners. Like here we see Ashley Beard behind Dan Hunt. That's about 4 tenths, and that's pretty much ideal, assuming that the guy in front of you doesn't have a slipstream as well.
Go then down the back straight. Chepelevsky going back to the lead. Of course, this is where he got it a lap ago. Dan Hunt, he's got the pace though. He might try and get all of them here. He's got a fantastic run this time on the exit of Eau Rouge and Radion. He's going to get second at least. Is it going to be the lead though? He should slot into second. He's going for it though. Chepelevsky gives him a smidge and a space on the inside. And Chepelevsky stays in the lead for now. Dan Hunt though up into second place. And one position away from where he was. He was on pole of course for the start of this race, and one thing that makes this Spa race so good in the Mazda MX-5 Summit is as long as you stay in the slipstream, you've got a good enough shout of getting a win here, or maybe even a podium.
And with the slipstream, they also lead into very good overtaking spots. So I think that's one of the reasons why this track always provides great racing.
As we saw similar stuff at Interlagos a few weeks ago, one of the quickest circuits that we go to in the BSR Mazda MX-5 series. And the same can be said here about the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And Brian Holmes, he wants that second place back off Dan Hunt. Started second, got demoted to third after that move by Dan Hunt on the Kemmel Straight. And that Foxfoot Racing car, Brian Holmes, currently sitting in 10th place in the championship. Needs to get a bit of a move on. It's not the longest championship in the world, of course, not as long as the 140 race BSR TC, but we are already almost 10 races into a 36 race season. And yeah, Brian Holmes wants to get himself into the championship order, currently 154 points behind Rob Hartley, and now he's going for second place. Going to try and go round the outside of Blanchemont, but Dan Hunt should have the inside line. We saw Max Verstappen was able to get it done round the outside. Can Brian Holmes do it?
And more importantly, Dan Hunt has the draft of Chepelevsky, so it's very difficult for Holmes to make a move here. Chepelevsky
trying to defend the lead. Brian Holmes getting on the brakes a little bit earlier. He doesn't want to run into the back of Selin Chepelevsky. Cesaro Rizzo's dropping down my timing screen, so problem for Rizzo. He looks like he might have got going again in 16th place, but he was in 8th at the start of the lap. Oh, he's had a big off here. Just looking back on a replay, Sam, he's side by side with a Youth Energy car. That's Adam Delmont. Gets on that inside curb, and that seems to have had a big consequence for that Mazda MX-5.
Yeah, we are just looking at the replay. Slightly sideways and to the wall at the very high speed section.
Of course, that's where Kimi Räikkönen had his big shunt nearly 10 years ago in that crazy end to that 2008 race that nearly changed the championship. And here comes Dan Hunt. Oh, Chepelevsky has a bit of a wiggle there on the exit of Eau Rouge. This is going to give Dan Hunt the opportunity he needs to try and take the lead back, and it gives Brian Holmes the opportunity to go up the middle. He's now going to cut to the inside, the MHR Foxfoot Racing driver, and he might just get the lead here. Dan Hunt will try and sweep in. He has the racing line, of course, Dan Hunt. But Brian Holmes might just be that little bit later on the brakes, and indeed he is. Brian Holmes to the race lead then. Dan Hunt back into second place. And Selin Chapelevsky, who was first on the exit of Eau Rouge, Sam, is now down into third.
Yeah, but this is far from over, and we can see here also comes Lee Deemer, Ashley Beard, Martin Walham. They're all in for it.
Well, yeah, you cannot rule out Martin Wolfram, who's currently sitting in 6th place, or maybe even Steve Hefford in 7th. He got a race victory last week at Silverstone, and he currently sits in 7th place. The top 7 separated by, in real time, 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
That's fantastic. Right then, into Pouon, this downhill left-hander. And Brian Holmes, who is our current race leader, won race 3 at Silverstone, so he's going for back-to-back race victories here. However, Chapelevsky wants that second place off Dan Hunt, because Brian Holmes is actually starting to get a little bit of gap here now. 7/10 of a second between Brian Holmes, the MHR Foxfoot Racing driver, and Dan Hunt, driving for Team Momo. One thing we do see though, Sam, is that even on the exit of Stavelot here, even though it's not the straightest part of the circuit, you do seem to close the gap to the car in front between this corner at the exit of Curve Paul Frere and into the bus stop chicane.
And for Dan Hunt to close the gap to Brian Holmes, he's maybe paying too much attention to what's behind him, and that allows Brian to just run away with it.
Here comes Chapelevsky round the outside of the bus stop chicane. That might work. He uses the AstroTurf on the exit, and he is through. So Chapelevsky through into second place. Before we even get to the bus stop chicane, Dan Hunt will be late on the brakes. These two, of course, former teammates in the BSRTC. They both drove for GT Omega back in 2015 and in the Alphalatech stable last year in the BSRTC. So they know each other well. And Dan Hunt, I thought he had a slowdown penalty there for a brief moment, but just moving out to get a little bit of clear air onto his Mazda MX-5. You can see Steve Hefford there flying up the inside of Martin Waltham. That's a move for 6th position. And Steve Hefford now up into the top 6. Martin Waltham down to 7th. The Pro-Am driver, the Pro-Am leader, Martin Waltham, still inside the top 10. And looks like those two might be starting to get cut adrift just a little bit now from the top 5.
Now looking at some of these moves like what Ashley Beard are doing, they are stepping out of the draft for a while for going into Eau Rouge. So maybe they are trying to set up the draft so they have the best speed into this corner here. And here comes Chapelevsky.
Here he comes then. I was going to say it's surely not a temperature issue. Dan Hunt round the outside of car 45, Brian Holmes. Holmes could get shoved down to 3rd place, similar to what happened to Chapelevsky in this exact spot a lap ago. Chapelevsky takes the lead back. Of course, started 4th, Selin Chapelevsky, now up to the race lead again. Here comes Dan Hunt, darts to the inside, but cannot get past that MHR Foxfoot Racing driver. Half a lap ago, Brian Holmes had an 0.8 of a second lead. Now he's half a second behind Selin Chapelevsky. Such is the way this opening race of the day is yo-yoing backwards and forwards. I can tell you that some of the biggest movers in the field, Christoph Kiard is up 12 positions, started in 24th position on the grid, pretty much stone dead last, but is now up inside the top half of the field. A fantastic job from him. And who else has done well in the field so far? Selin Chapelevsky, of course, at 3 positions into the Fania chicane. Dan Hunt versus Ash Beard, the reigning champion. He's going to have the inside here, Sam, I think, but Dan Hunt, he's pretty resilient here. He's holding it out round the outside.
But it really looks like Dan Hunt is struggling. I'm not sure. He has a little bit of damage to the left front of his car, so I'm not sure if that is causing some problems through some of these faster corners, and that's why he's maybe slightly dropping off the pace. And here we go again, Chapelevsky and Brian Holmes.
Chapelevsky actually getting on the brakes there a little bit, a dab of the brake there before we get into Blanchimont. Dan Hunt trying his best. Of course, that contact to the front left came when Selin Chapelevsky got past on the opening lap. And Ashbeard finally gets through, so Ashbeard back to where he started. He didn't have the best start, of course. He's now up to 3rd position. That could be 2nd, but Chapelevsky comes out of nowhere, up the inside. Is he going to make the corner? No, he won't. He just makes the apex for the second part of the bus stop chicane, and around goes Dan Hunt. Dan Hunt finally has to concede defeat there. The damaged, of course, to the front of his Mazda MX-5. It might not have been helping things, but Sam, it looks like he might have just put the power down a bit too much on the exit of the second part of the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid Cepileski, and that just messed up his line. And
that was Stelian Chepelevsky, wasn't it? Almost
yeah.
doing exactly the same on the exit. Wow,
and that's Cepileski down to 5th right now.
And this is the dream scenario now for MHR Foxfoot. They are 1, 2, 3. Brian Holmes leading the way, Ashbeard in second place. Third is Lee Deemer as we start what is most certainly the penultimate lap of the race. And now Ashbeard might fancy his chances of taking the lead away from his teammate Brian Holmes here. Ashbeard, who sits 4th in the championship with no wins to his name yet this season. He'd love to get that ticked off. And Lee Deemer also in the battle with Steve Hefford going into the Les Combes chicane.
And in the background with Dan Hunt, Szilard and Gould, they were 3 wide going in.
Oh dear.
And that is Peter Van Gool around. He has a contact with Dan Hunt.
That did have the writing on the wall, I'm afraid. Peter Van Gool, did he overshoot Les Combes? He was trying that move around the outside, and Dan Hunt went for the racing line, I think, and contact was inevitable there between the two of them. Dan Hunt's got going again. He's in 13th and 14th, I should say, and Peter Van Gool also down the order in 15th place. So their races continue to get worse as we enter the closing stages. But now the top two starting to edge away now. Maybe that's part of the team's strategy. Lee Deemer now holding up Stelian Chepelevsky. Chepelevsky 1.8 seconds behind our race leader Brian Holmes. Brian Holmes' 2 victories came at Interlagos. He won race 2 there, won race 3 at Silverstone. He'd like to get the race 1 box ticked off here in the opening race of the day at Spa-Francorchamps. And he's currently doing a good job at the moment, holding back his teammate, the reigning champion, Ash Beard. 3rd, Lee Deemer. 4th, Stelian Chepelevsky. 5th is Steve Hefford. 6th is Martin Waltham. 7th, Adam Delmont. 8th, Jamie Ayres. 9th is Christophe Kiard. And 10th is Kip Stevens, who I believe has got past Matthew Keeber on this lap, along Colin Robinson in 12th and 13th, Roy Verkerk. But here comes Stelian Chepelevsky past Lee Deemer. That is for 3rd place. Has he got enough time to get to our leaders? We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. So when we get to the line, this is going to be the start of the final lap of the race. Steve Hefford now trying to get past Lee Deemer as well. So it was a 1-2-3 briefly for the MHR Foxfoot team. But now it looks like Lee Deemer might just be starting to struggle a little bit now as we enter the closing stages of the race.
Yeah, Chepelevsky, the gap to Brian Holmes is only 0.2 seconds, so it is still possible to catch up. And depending what these guys in front do, it might it's still up for the win is still up for grabs here.
Even though it's only a 15-minute race.
What happened to Lee Deemer?
Lee Deemer is gone. The engine is destroyed. The car is destroyed. And I've got a feeling I know what's coming here.
Yeah,
it's a slightest tap to the rear. Yeah, slightest tap to the rear by Steve Hefford. And if he'd just spun about a few more feet, he would have missed that Armco barrier. And that is a disaster for Lee Deemer, Sam.
Yeah, it was going good for a while, but now he's going to drop all the way back.
I suppose the advantage for him is that if he just keeps, he should be 1 lap down, so he might be eligible for the reverse grid, which of course we have for races 2 and 3. But I think he might have to take that back. I don't think the car's steering at all. No, he has taken it back to the pit, so a terrible way for Lee Deemer to end his race. Of course, drivers do have the right to protest, and we're not here to judge in the Apex booth, but yeah, I wonder if Lee Deemer might be saying anything about Steve Hefford's role in that collision. Final half a lap then. Stelian Chepelevsky, what's the gap? 1.3 seconds. It might not just be enough for him to get the win here, but it's definitely going to be a squabble to the flag between the two teammates. Brian Holmes currently leading the way, the MHR Foxfoot car with the blue roll cage, and Ash Beard, the number 1 car with the red roll cage. A good way of identifying the two Foxfoot cars. And into Stavolo for the final time, and I'm sure that Brian Holmes will be making sure that he covers the bus stop the inside line going into the bus stop chicane. But even after that, Sam, we've still got enough distance on the exit that you can get a move done if you execute the cutback well.
True, and I don't think there's going to be any kind of team orders. We have Asbeard, he's currently 4th, and Brian Holmes is 10th, so there's going to be any kind of reason for team orders.
Into the final corner. Through Blanchemont, and now up to the final corner at the bus stop chicane. It doesn't go for the inside line, but you can see Selin Chepelevsky's arrived, albeit a bit too late, through the final corner, and Ashbeard isn't going to be close enough here. Race 10 of the BSR MX5 Cup will go to Brian Holmes. He takes his 3rd win of the season, back-to-back race wins as well for the MHR Foxfoot Racing driver. 2nd Ashbeard, 3rd is Selin Chepelevsky. Jamie Ayres versus Christophe Quillard. What's happened to Quillard? He's had a problem. What's happened? Did he lose the car? Oh, please don't tell me he's out of fuel. I think Sammy's out of fuel. That is a disaster for Quillard. He can't even make it across the line.
He blew the engine going into the bus stop chicane.
Oh no.
We just got it on the replay.
Is he going to get across the timing line? It's there. He should just make it across the line.
Yes, he just crossed it.
Couldn't have timed it any better, could he? And he gets 19th place after all that. He was at the start of the lap in about 11th place. That is a shame for Christophe Quillard, and we were talking about how many positions he'd made during the race, but he's now going to be finishing in 18th position. And yeah, 2 cars failed to take the start, of course, me and Ben Hamlet, and we're just waiting for Cesaro and Rizzo to cross the line. These two, Rizzo and Alan Mitchell, 2 of the late strugglers here. Rizzo, of course, hit the inside wall at Blanchemont earlier on. Here comes Mitchell. Oh, he almost had a move up the inside there. Alan Mitchell. For the final corner now, and that should be 21st position for Rizzo and 22nd place for Alan Mitchell, the privateer, and Rizzo also driving for Team Momo. Right, let's run you through the finishing order from the opening race of the day. Race victory for Brian Holmes, 3rd win of the season, takes him to the top of most wins for the season. 2nd for Ashbeard, that elusive win still awaits for him. Selin Chepelevsky in 3rd, only half a second behind at the end. Martin Wolf from 4th, 5th is Steve Hefford, 6th Adam Delmont, 7th Jamie Ayres, 8th Kip Stevens, 9th Colin Robinson, and Roy Ververke rounds out the top 10. A good race there from Ververke, 9 positions gained. Matthew Keeber finishing in 11th, 12th our pole sitter Dan Hunt. It all unravelled for him in that second half of the race. Peter Van Gool in 13th place, those two collided of course. 14th Lorne Murray, 15th Kevin Woods, 16th for Lee Barmer, 7th Adam McNally, 18th Michael Barry, 19th Christophe Quillard, who of course blew that engine going into the bus stop chicane, and Ben Landemore in 20th. 21st for Cesaro Rizzo, 22nd is Alan Mitchell. We saw those two fighting to the line there, and the car's 1 lap down or more, only one of them, and that is Lee Deemer, who got hit on the final lap of the race by Steve Hefford, and of course 2 cars didn't take the start, Ben Hamlet and yours truly. Right then, Sam, it's time to get the wheel up, and he's going to be on pole position for race 2, race 11 of the season.
Okay, bring up the wheel right now, let's spin it. And it is 24. And who is that?
And that's Ben Hamlet. He didn't take the start. I presume it'll go to the next car that finished above him. That's Lee Deemer. So Lee Deemer, it couldn't have worked out any better for him. He's going to be on the pole position for race 2. Adam Mitchell 2nd, Rizzo 3rd, Landemore 4th, and Christophe Quillard in 5th. So that blown engine might reap its rewards for him in the second race. That is pretty much a complete full reverse grid. So we've got all the makings of a fantastic race 2. So join us after the break here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. We should be getting the second race of the day underway, so don't go anywhere.
From far away they came to us with knowledge. They changed our world, then left us without warning. They will return the day when they are needed. Our gaze is shifted upwards to the sky.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it at a 4, who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV, welcome back to Spa in Belgium, welcome back to the BSR MX5 Cup Series. We are here for the second race of 3. Adam Bath here with Sam Kumo. Glad to have you all with us and hope you're enjoying your Easter festivities and a superly long weekend as well. And Sam, a good first race, and anyone could have really won it really in the end, and hopefully we get the same in this second race.
Yeah, definitely, and we talked about this during the break, and we had plenty of overtake, plenty of action, and it was still very clean, so that is looking very promising for these reverse grid races.
Another thing that we've seen as well is the conditions have changed somewhat since the opening race. 21 degrees track temperature. You don't often see temperatures that low in a race before, and it'll be interesting to see how these Mazda MX-5s handle that on the opening lap.
Yes, I would be worried about the twitchiness of the car on the lap 1, especially through one of these high-speed corners. So I wonder if the drivers will be taking it easy or if they've made any tire pressure adjustments for this one.
Of course, one thing that'll be good for the drivers is that it's not the super long run. Easy for me to say to Eau Rouge this time, because of course we're on the endurance layout, so it's going to be a pretty short run. It's probably going to be the Les Combes chicane, which is going to be a tough issue for the drivers. Of course, no formation laps on iRacing for standing starts, so the drivers are pretty much starting from 0 when it comes to getting the tyres up to temperature here. Something you'd like to see in the future, Sam, possibly formation laps for standing start races?
I think it's one of those things that would be realistic, but to be fair, I don't think many drivers would end up liking it very much if you have that very long formation lap.
More of a novelty, really.
Yes, and one thing you mentioned, that very short run to our routes. Yes, the speed will be lower, but it's a bit unusual for the drivers because they won't be approaching it at the usual speed that they've been practicing. So in that sense, it might be even harder starting from there.
Oh yeah. Of course, the Mazda MX-5 is on the quickest things in the world, so they'll be reaching their similar speeds by the time they get there. So it'll be interesting to see how they take it. Of course, that right-hander at the top of the hill is still pretty demanding on the cars. I think I remember doing a BSR TC race here back in a few years ago in season 6, where literally everyone went off in overcast conditions here. Of course, the iRacing physics have changed since 2014, but yeah, we have seen the Mazda MX-5s looking pretty lively so far this season, and with the overcast conditions we could be in for something pretty special. So running through the grid then for the second race of the day, it is Lee Diemer starting on pole position, so pretty much last to first. Alan Mitchell starting second, Cesaro Rizzo third. We saw those two guys coming across the line very late on in race 1. Ben Landemore in fourth. Fifth is Christoph Kiart, who blew that engine in the bus stop chicane. Mick Barry in 6th, Adam McNally 7th, Lee Barmer 8th, Kevin Woods in 9th, and Lorne Murray in 10th. Peter Van Gool in 11th, Dan Hunt 12th, Matthew Keever 13th, Wolfgang Verkey 14th, 15th for Colin Robinson, 16th Jamie Ayres, 17th Adam Delmont, 18th Steve Hefford, 19th Martin Waltham, and then starting at the back it's Stelian Chapelewski, Ash Beard and Brian Holmes. Everyone pretty eager to get on the grid for this one, so this should be pretty interesting. Race 2 of the day in the BSR Mazda MX-5. Runs away. Good start from Lee Diemer away from the line. Alan Mitchell should slot into second position. He's going to have a little go, isn't he, going into the first corner here, so this might not end well. Rizzo trying around the outside as well, and Rizzo up into second place and might try and take the lead as well.
Yeah, very good start for the top 4. Christopher Sillar didn't get a very good run and ended up punching up people behind him.
Well, it's looking pretty chaotic at the very back. It's 3 wide, maybe even 4 wide, and we could have a similar situation at the front here. Who's going to be leading? It looks like it might be Cesare Rizzo here going into Lake Com. He's going to swing around the outside, and a Momo Racing driver takes the lead. Second is Lee Diemer. Diemer gets into the back of Rizzo. Ben Landemore gets into the back of Lee Diemer. Diemer's going to take the lead back, and I think, Sam, it looked like that Rizzo might have just got a bit out of shape on the exit of the Lake Com chicane, and that caused a bit of a bottleneck.
Yeah, Rizzo went too deep into what's happening there? That is Kevin Woods and 2 Momo cars having a scuffle here.
Oh, Jamie Ayres. Yeah, Jamie Ayres, one of them. He's still trying to rescue the car. Into the Armco barrier he goes, and he tried. That incident happened a few hundred metres
what's
after
up
where it
here,
started.
Barry?
Oh my
Delmont.
word. Big one, and that could be a safety car. However, I think they probably won't do it. And I think it might be
Peter Van
kicking off
Gool,
furthermore.
Lord Murray. Whole bunch of cars involved in this one.
Matthew Kiva, Stelian Chapalevsky as well, I believe. But Van Gool and Kiva both retired to the pits. Terrible start for those guys, and I think we might as well take the time to see what actually happened here.
I think it might have started with Chepilevsky. Taking a look at the replay.
Well, oh dear, yeah, it started way up front. I'm trying to find out what happened. It started with Mick Barry getting out of shape into the corner with no name, and Lorne Murray having nowhere to go, and everyone came around the corner at full speed, seeing a Pro Sim car on the exit of the corner and nowhere to go.
Yeah, Mick Barry just got lost there. And
disaster then. On the opening lap, Ben Lantamore going for second place, an Adidas car flying out of nowhere into the side of the Youth Energy car of Adam McNally and into the Momo Racing car of Steve Hefford. Hefford might have broken the right front of the car. He's very slow on the exit of the bus stop chicane. He might just be recovering. But more drama unfolding going into the bus stop chicane at the end of the first lap. Lee Deemer leads the way then. Second is Ben Landemore. Third is Alan Mitchell. Fourth is Adam McNally. Fifth is Christoph Kiard. Sixth is Dan Hunt, who's just got past Pesaro Rizzo. Then it's Lee Deemer. Oh, it's Lee Barmer in eighth. Steve Hefford ninth. And with a lot of damage to his car. And Adam Delmont rounding out the top 10. Quite a few cars into the pits as well, Sam, at the end of that opening lap.
Yeah, plenty of action on the lap one, and not necessarily something we were expecting based on the first race.
Yeah, everyone's
but
pretty well behaved.
Yes, maybe people are just calming down for the second lap.
Christoph Kiard is up into fourth place. He's just got past Adam McNally. Rizzo looks like he's about to get passed by the Momo Racing car of Dan Hunt going into Laycom. That's Hunt through into sixth place now. Hefford getting past Barmer as well, round the outside of Laycom. And it looks like the Automet car of Verke also passed Lee Barmer. So Barmer dropping like a stone really. He was 8th at the start of the lap, now 11th. Could be 12th if Martin Waltham has anything to say about it, and indeed he does. He's up into 11th now. Barmer down to 12th position, lost 4 positions so far. And I can tell you that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars in the pits. Jamie Ayres has been in the pits. Of course, the drivers that have made it back have got their brand new Mazda MX-5 and they'll be on their way in no time at all. But some other drivers have had to tow back to the pits, and they've been in the pits for some time now. So the drivers that have made it back, they shouldn't have too much to worry about. But the likes of Van Gool, Keeper and Murray, they've had to tow quite a long time now to get back to the pits and get that new car.
Yeah, looking at the currently, and now everyone is back on track. Lord Murray had a very long tow, but he is about to exit the pit lane, and he will be 1 lap down.
Now this could be pretty interesting. We saw a number for the reverse grid for race 2 that gave us literally a full reverse grid. If those drivers, and it's such a long lap here, Sam, that all of these drivers should stay on the lead lap if we don't have any more retirees. And if we have a similar number for the reverse grid for race 3, the likes of Lorne Murray, Matthew Keeper and Mick Barry, they'll be back at the front again for race 3.
You are absolutely correct, because Lorne Murray, he's already way ahead, while the leaders are just coming to complete their lap. So this will get interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Dan Hunt just getting past Adam McNally going into the bus stop chicane. That's the Youth Energy driver down a position. His teammate Adam Delmont looks like he might try and fancy 6th place as well. The two Adams going into battle. Adam McNally versus Adam Delmont, both driving for the same team as well. Rizzo fancies his chances up the inside. Adam Delmont's had a brilliant race so far, up 11 positions. Started in 17th, up into 6th place now, and Adam McNally losing that spot to Rizzo as they go into Eau Rouge on lap 3 of the race. Just over 9 minutes to go here. And there goes Rizzo, so Rizzo into 7th place now. Any advances at the front? Here comes Ben Landemore, an iRating of 774. That's not slowing him down at all. He's going to try and get past Lee Diemer here. Amazing, he's got a B licence and an iRacing of 774, so... oh, here comes Alan Mitchell as well. Oh no! That's Ben Landemore getting into... that's Lee Diemer getting to the back of Ben Landemore. I thought it was going to send him off into the runoff area, but it just gave him a nice little shove to send him a bit more forward, and it's all kicking off behind. Here comes Dan Hunt, here comes Christophe Quillard, and also Alan Mitchell involved here. Up the inside goes the Frenchman. Christophe Quillard there. And now it's going to be wheel-to-wheel action here between Dan Hunt and Alan Mitchell. Mitchell will try his best to hold it up around the outside car, hold up the inside I should say, car 44, but Dan Hunt is up another position and up into 4th place now.
Yeah, we have seen plenty of very forceful moves here tonight. And I don't think it's over by a long shot here. Let's see where we have 10th place Hefford and Holmes. They are really very close. Here comes Holmes.
Oh yeah.
Up 10 positions from where he started.
He might have gained 2 more on this lap, Brian Holmes. Up to 10th now, started 22nd on the grid. And he's cracked the top 10 now, Brian Holmes. Of course, won race 1, won race 3 last week as well. Adam Delmont has just got past Mitchell. And it looks like Rizzo might get past Mitchell as well. So a poor second half of the lap here for Alan Mitchell. Was up at the front. And it's all kicking off at the lead for the lead as well. Because here comes Ben Landemore. You can see the damage to the front of his Mazda MX-5 and to the rear as well. His car's definitely been in the wars so far in this second race. And Lee Diemer returns to the lead. Here comes Dan Hunt though. He fancies a win. Of course, it all went horribly wrong for him in the second half of race 1 earlier. This might not end well, folks. Into the bus stop chicane. Here comes Landemore to the outside. Here comes Quillard up the inside. Here comes Diemer back up the inside into the bus stop chicane. Landemore will have the inside though for the second part. Forces Diemer onto the AstroTurf on the exit. But there will be a gap open for La Source as we come over the timing line now to start lap 4 of the race. I make it about 3 laps to go here in race 2. Lee Diemer back up the inside. And that should settle matters for the time being. But you can see there, Sam, Ben Landemore, a fantastic cutback on the exit. I would hold back to the exit of Eau Rouge, but he might fancy his chances now.
Yeah, I would assume that he would just hang back here. But considering how many bumps Ben has been getting from Diemer, I don't think it's going to be very nice for him when he makes his move. And he has a little payback there.
Little hit to the front there of Lee Diemer's Mazda MX-5. Of course, 20 incidents. I'm sure that if we had 11, like we do in the BSR TC, that some of these drivers would have been disqualified by now. Here comes Dan Hunt, though. He's just come out of nowhere here, Dan Hunt. He might take the lead. Landemore up the middle. Hold on, folks. He turns across Lee Diemer. The cars scatter. That's Christophe Quillard going to the outside. He turns around Landemore into Diemer. A whole load of cars go into the gravel. It's all bunching up. That's Martin Waltham that's facing the wrong way. Here comes Roy Ververke out of nowhere. He's up to 7th place. Brian Holmes, out of all that's now in 6th. 5th, Adam Delmont. Christophe Quillard 4th. 3rd, Alan Mitchell. 2nd is still Lee Diemer. And Sam Kumo. That was pretty chaotic.
Yeah, but all things considered, that could have been worse. And who was that? Hefford going across the grass and almost collecting whoever that was following him. And now Landemore is all the way down to 9th position.
Well, it all started with Landemore getting turned around by Lee Diemer. I think that was written on the wall really from the exit of Eau Rouge. We saw the little tap he gave to him on the exit, and Lee Diemer threw it up the inside. He's managed to escape from that pretty unscathed, really. Of course, it's just meant more damage to the front of his Mazda MX-5. But
and we just saw Landemore having a small bump with Hefford as well.
Something might have happened to Rizzo there at the same time. He wasn't too far away from Hefford. He was up the inside of Landemore, but didn't make the corner and went straight into the path of Ben Landemore. Yeah, indeed. And Cesare Rizzo, he's another car that's got a lot of damage.
Yeah, that was him.
Right then, it's all looking very good for Dan Hunt. He was 3rd at the start of the lap, started 12th, now leading. He's got a 1.1 second lead over a severely bruised and battered Mazda MX-5 of Lee Diemer. Alan Mitchell somehow finds himself back in 3rd. He was 6th at the start of the lap. Christophe Quillard, is he going to throw it up the inside into the bus stop chicane? He is, but I don't think he's going to make it. Well, I stand corrected, he does. Fantastic on the brakes move there by Christophe Quillard, and that's him through into 3rd position now. Looks like Brian Holmes might be trying to get past Adam Delmont light as well. So coming across the line to start the penultimate lap. But the battle really on for the final spot on the podium here. Kiard is away. I think he's a bit too far away to get to Dima and Dan Hunt, especially judging from the pace we saw from Dan Hunt earlier. Brian Holmes and Adam Delmont's getting pretty close for comfort there on the exit of La Source. Those two going to go at it into the bus stop chicane. Battle over 5th and 6th.
And here we go. Brian Holmes has the inside line for our route. Is able to hold on to it, but now this might give an opportunity for Delmont to get a draft.
Pretty close, and also Mitchell and Kiard also going at it down the Kemmel Straight. That's the final spot on the podium being fought over there. Here comes Delmont, he's gone to the inside. Brian Holmes hasn't defended the inside line here. Up the inside goes the Youth Energy car, but you can see Brian Holmes late on the brakes, and he should be able to hold on. So Brian Holmes now 17 positions gained for the race 1 winner. He now is into 5th position, a bit late to try and challenge for the win. He can definitely challenge for a podium here, as Alan Mitchell is still having to soak up the pressure from the Frenchman Christophe Kiard. Through Rivage they go, and the corner with no name, turn 7. And here comes Kiard, got a fantastic run on the exit. I thought that was going to be a quarter panel there. And he might try and fancy move up the inside into Pouon. Brian Holmes might make it free wide into Pouon here. This might not end well. Oh no, and it didn't. And it's got even worse. Christophe Kiard gets hit by Adam Delmont. Delmont's car's absolutely destroyed. And Alan Mitchell, has he been disqualified? No, he's got the car turned around and it's got going again. But free wide into Pouon. Sam, why did I know that wasn't going to end well?
Yeah, and just as I was about to mention, Roy Wörke behind them, he was lurking and looking for opportunity, and it was just handed to him.
Disaster, and now Ben Landemore is under pressure from Adam McNally. Landemore's benefited beautifully from all that. He's now back up to 5th, and Adam McNally, these guys are all the survivors really. I don't think any driver hasn't been in a bit of contact today.
Yeah, it's been a very different race from the race 1. I don't think the draft has really played any part in this one. It's just been the aggressive moves and small mistakes or big mistakes. And here comes Landemore.
Into the bus stop chicane, we're going to get the white flag at the line. Landemore will go back up the inside into the bus stop chicane, and he's lost it. And around he goes, and just when everything was coming up, Ben Landemore has gone back down to earth again, and he's now going to get going again. But because of the amount of damage and scraps Mazda MX-5s, he's only going to drop down to 13th as a result of that.
Yeah, this will be the final lap. We have about 40 seconds on the clock, so we should be getting the white flag for some time this lap.
Right then, let's see. The gap between Dan Hunt and Lee Dima, 9 tenths a second, make that 8 tenths. I think it's going to be a tough ask for Lee Dima to get to Dan Hunt. Dan Hunt's Mazda MX-5 isn't the cleanest looking Mazda MX-5 in the world, but it is a darn sight better looking than Lee Dima's in 2nd. 3rd is Brian Holmes on his own now, so I think that's going to be his position.
And we have
settled.
a good battle for 5th place.
Oh yeah, is it Robinson?
Robinson, Hefford and McNally.
Hefford's car looks to be crabbing just a little bit. That front left doesn't look too good. He's trying his best to get to the flag. He's in currently 6th place at the moment. Colin Robinson up in 5th. Steny Chapelewski, by the way, has made a 2nd visit to the pits. So problems there for the BSR TC driver. And Robinson now in 5th position, 10 positions gained for him. Hefford still having to soak up the pressure from that Youth Energy car. Going into the corner with no name for the final time, using all that turf on the exit. And behind them Lee Barmer, then it's Christophe Kiard, then Kevin Woods, Rizzo, Mitchell, and then Ben Landemore. And then we get into the cars that all made pit stops. Ash Beard on back. And here comes the McNally now. It's going to be McNally versus Hefford into the Fania chicane. Round the outside will go the Youth Energy car. I think he's got more of a car to fight with, really. Hefford seems to be nursing a wounded car, but he's not giving up, is Steve Hefford. Seems to be pretty good in these Mazda MX-5s. He's showing that now up the inside into Stavolo. That is 6th position still for Steve Hefford. Meanwhile, where's Dan Hunt in all this? He's not too far away from the line. What a brilliant job it's been from him. He stayed out of trouble. Still not over between Steve Hefford and Adam McNally here. This is a battle you think is going to go right to the line. But Dan Hunt into the bus stop chicane for the final time. Brian Holmes took the victory in race 1. It's going to be race 2 and the first win of the season for Dan Hunt. Lee Diemer wasn't too far behind in the end if he had one more lap. Dan Hunt takes the win, Lee Diemer 2nd, Brian Holmes, the race 1 winner, is going to get 3rd, Verke 4th. Who's going to get 5th? It's going to be Colin Robinson, 6th for Adam McNally. He managed to just get ahead of Steve Hefford at the line. And then 8th Lee Barmer, 9th Christoph Kiod and Kevin Woods rounding out the top 10. And some donuts going on.
That's Dan Hunt. But we still have battles going on for among those who pitted Martin Walham and Peter Van Gool.
Like almost a second class of racing here as we go into Stavolo. Martin Waltham, of course, was the Pro-Am leader going into this race meeting. And Peter Van Gool in 17th place. Believe it or not, Martin Waltham's been in the pits and gained 3 positions from where he started. Same for Rash Beard as well, he's gained 7 positions so far. Of course, these drivers have pretty much gained these positions due to the fact that some of the drivers weren't able to make it back to the pits under their own steam, had to get a tow back. Now here comes Van Gool through the Blanchimont, going to take to the AstroTurf, may as well use up all those incidents. And now into the bus stop chicane, he's going to go up the inside. Waltham will try and hold it up the inside into the second part of the bus stop chicane, and Van Gool loses it, but is able to gather it back up. Still trying to wrestle with the car, and Martin Waltham should come across the line and take 16.
And I think that's all the battles we have going on. Still have Lon Murray and Cebilevsky coming to the finish.
Battle for last place really here. The only driver that hasn't finished is Adam Delmont, unfortunately. He was that car that got involved in the Pouon disaster between Christoph Kiard and Ben Landemore. Was it Landemore? I think it might have been. But yeah, he should be credited as 1 lap down once Stalin Chapelevsky gets to the line. And the Pro Sim car is taking its time. Of course, not as long as that Mazda MX-5 race we did at the Nordschleife last season, where we were on air for a good 15 minutes after that. But Stalin Chapelevsky coming through. Of course, he'll be hoping for a very large, well, I say large, about 24 cars. Another 24-car reverse grid will do him nicely, and he will be back on the pole position for race 3. So just get to the end, Stellion, and you could be in with a shout of a reverse grid pole here.
And here he comes across the line. And I think we are ready to go over the results.
Okay, so Dan Hunt takes his first win of the season, and another win for the Momo team. Steve Hefford took a victory for them at Silverstone last week, and another win in race 2 for them with Dan Hunt. 2nd for Lee Diemer, 3rd for Brian Holmes, 4th Roy Verke, 5th Colin Robinson. Some of these drivers really big beneficiaries from the chaos that we saw in the midfield today. 6th Adam McNally, 7th Steve Hefford, 8th Lee Barmer, 9th Christoph Kiard and 10th Kevin Woods, 11th for Alan Mitchell, 12th Cesaro Rizzo, 13th Ben Landemore, Ash Beard 14th, the highest of the drivers that had to make pit stops during the race, 15th for Jamie Ayres, 16th Martin Waltham, 17th Peter Van Gool, 18th for Matthew Kiva, 19th for Mick Barry, Lorne Murray in 20th, 21st Stalin Chapelevsky, and look at that, last race we had an Adam at the back, and the same for race 2 as well, Adam Delmont this time 22nd, 1 lap down. Right then, Sam, reverse grid time for the final time tonight.
Okay, putting the wheel up. Let's see where it lands. It might be just very close to full, but it is 23.
Doesn't really matter anyway. That's pole position for Adam Delmont. He's going to be happy with that. It is literally a complete full, so he who shall be last shall be first. Second is going to be Stalin Chapelevsky. There's no guarantee of a race victory for him, of course, but it's still good for him to start near the front. Lord Murray starting in 3rd, Mick Barry 4th, and Matthew Keeber in 5th. A crazy second race here at Spa. What's going to happen in the 3rd race though? You don't want to miss it. Join us after the break for race 12 of the season in the BSR MX5 Cup.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Truex in the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and welcome back to Spa for the final race of the day here in the BSR MX5 Cup. Two pretty different races. The first race in the early morning conditions pretty clean as far as standards go. Then race 2 was pretty chaotic, especially in the midfield. I've got another full reverse grid as well for the final race of the day. Adam Bath here with Sam Kumo again. Hope you all are enjoying the last few hours of your Easter Sunday. And Sam, yeah, race 2 was pretty chaotic. It was survival of the fittest really by the end. Don't think any car out there didn't have any damage on it by the time the checkered flag came out.
Yeah, that's true, Adam, and it really didn't go as well as we were expecting. But nevertheless, we've now had 2 races, completely different races, but both filled with action. So it will be interesting to see which way this third one goes. The track temperatures are only slightly higher than in the previous race, but it should still be no issue for these cars.
Yeah, that's one thing we did notice. Yeah, the track temperature for race 2 was 21 degrees. It's only gone up 2 for the final race of the day. It's 23 degrees. It's the same air temperature as well, 21 degrees Celsius. Some of the drivers that will be the most happiest for this reverse grid. It's another full. Stelin Chapalevsky will be one of them. He won race 1 at Silverstone last week. Could be on course to win race 3 of the day here at Spa. Of course, it looks easy on paper. However, you've got a race with 20 other Mazda MX-5, Sam. I think that's been an issue for most of the drivers here today.
Yeah, I think for this one, Chapalevsky, especially starting at the... is he starting from the pole or...
I think he's starting in second. I think he's starting in second. I think it's Adam Delmont will be on pole.
Yeah, I think Chapalevsky will be dangerous for this one. He's very fast, and if he's able to pull away early on and negate any kind of drafting, he's looking really strong to finish this one with the win. But considering how the last 2 races went, it's still anybody's game.
Plenty of trouble spots around the circuit as well. We saw contact at La Source. We didn't see it at Eau Rouge actually. But we did see it at Les Combes. We saw it at the bottom until at Rivage. We saw a huge incident on the opening lap at corner with no name. We saw 3 wide going into Pouon that ended in disaster. We had contacts at the Fagny chicane. We had it at the bus stop as well. Yeah, we've got all areas covered here.
And here in the practice, Chapalevsky is also testing some kind of smoke features on his car.
Oh yeah, definitely. He'll be good at a rock concert, I can tell you that. Stelin Chapalevsky. I think problem with the suspension or something. That looks like the car's stuck. And yeah, and there you go. Niels van Gool that just hit Stelin Chapalevsky there. And could that be an omen for what we're going to see in this third and final race? We hope not. Here's the grid for the final race of the day. Pole position to Adam Delmont, second Stelin Chapalevsky, third Lorne Murray, fourth Mick Barry, fifth Matthew Keever, sixth Peter van Gool, 7th Martin Waltham, 8th Jamie Ayres, 9th Ash Beard, and 10th Ben Landemore. 11th is Cesario Rizzo, 12th is Alan Mitchell, 13th Kevin Woods, 14th Christoph Kiard, 15th Lee Barmer, 16th is Steve Hefford, 17th Adam McNally, 18th Colin Robinson, 19th Roy Verke, and 20th is Brian Holmes, 21st Lee Deemer, 22nd Dan Hunt, 23rd Rob Hartley, and at the back it's Kip Stevens and Max Wright. 25 car grid here. The final race of the day runs away. Chapalevsky doesn't get the best start away from the line. It should be enough to keep him in second place. He can't rule out Lorne Murray though. Murray looks like he's got a better second phase of the start and takes second place away from Stelin Chapalevsky going into Eau Rouge. Brilliant start by the Automech driver. Oh no, and there goes Chapalevsky. He was testing the Eau Rouge earlier for contact, and there you go, he's off already. And Stelin Chapalevsky, one of the biggest favourites for the race victory in this final race, Sam, is already written off.
Yeah, that didn't go at all like he planned. Yes, he is able to continue, but he's going to be way down the field here.
Who's going for the lead then? It's Matthew Keever up the inside of Lorne Murray. Murray's going to hold it out around the outside. Cars scattering a little bit going into Les Combes. I don't know who it was that hit him. Oh, we saw a Youth Energy car off in the background as well. That's probably Adam McNally. I didn't see who it was that hit Stelin Chapalevsky either. It might be Peter van Gool because he was...
There's one car around.
Oh, is it Kevin Woods?
Max Wright, Rob Hartley. Mick Barry and Steve Hefford also came together.
Oh dear, Mick Barry, who did start on the second row of the grid. What happens here? Mick Barry, Pro Sim car. Oh, is it a quarter panel? It is. And yeah, Steve Hefford and Mick Barry both around. Oh no, that's Adam Delmont. Adam Delmont, the pole sitter, is off at Pouon. What has happened here? Right,
Let's take
he
a look
turns
at the
it.
replay.
Well, it's no contact, Sam. He looks like it might just be cold tyres.
Yeah, he just turns it in. The rear gets loose, tries to recover, and off he goes to the wall.
No saving that, even on a tarmac runoff area. Well, this has been a dream start for Ash Beard. He is up into third position, a gain of 6 spots, and is about to take second place away from Matthew Keever. Here he comes, up the inside into Blanchimont. You can see the dust and the dirt offline after 2 races here in the BSR MX5 Cup. And Ash Beard through into second place now. It's just him and Lorne Murray at the front. Third is Jamie Ayres, fourth is Van Gool, fifth is Martin Waltham, sixth is Ben Landemore, who we saw having a whole load of issues in the second race. He's up inside the top 10 again here, hard on the brakes into the bus stop chicane. Wheel-to-wheel action going on here between Waltham and Van Gool, and Jamie Ayres and Matthew Keever. And Van Gool pretty close there to Martin Waltham as we come across the line to complete the first lap.
Yeah, looks like everyone made it through the bus stop this time around. I didn't see any major contact happening there.
Into La Source then to start lap 2. Martin Waltham on the outside of Peter Van Gool. Ben Landemore thinks of going to the inside, but definitely does not want to go 3 wide into Eau Rouge. Selin Chepelevsky limping into certain fast toe. The top 2 at the start are back to penultimate and last. Roles reversed quite literally really for Selin Chepelevsky and Adam Delmont. They were last in race 2, and oh, here comes Jamie Ayres. And here comes Ash Beard for the lead as well. So 2 battles going on, one for the final spot on the podium and one for the race lead. Lorne Murray on the inside in the Automech car, Ash Beard on the outside in the Foxfoot racing car, and the Foxfoot racing car takes the lead. Ash Beard takes it. Oh no, that's a disaster. That's Martin Waltham and Van Gool. Well, those two were pretty close to each other the last few corners, and it doesn't surprise me that, well, looking on the replay actually, who's that in the middle? That's car 7, that's Matthew Keever. And in all fairness, Sam, it looks like Peter Van Gool's an innocent bystander in all that.
Yeah, that was just 3 wide. Attempted to make 3 wide and not really guys knowing that there's a car alongside you.
Well, Ben Landemore's going to be sitting and laughing at that. He went up the inside of all of them and was able to get all those positions. Brian Holmes, though, has just taken a spot away from him, though. Brian Holmes up to 4th position. First in race 1, 3rd in race 2, up to 4th already in race 3. He's a man on a mission today.
And look at this for the 6th place. Dan Hunt, keeper Rizzo Szilard.
Well, these guys were outside the top 10 at the start of the lap. Dan Hunt was 11th. Matthew Keever was in 3rd, of course. However, he's recovering after the disaster earlier on in the lap. Then Cesaro Rizzo's there. Adam McNally throwing it up the inside of Christophe Kiard, and that was a bit forceful, just in front of these guys. The 2 cars going at it. That's Brian Holmes versus Jamie Ayres. That's a spot over the final. That's a squabble over the final spot on the podium. I can tell you that Peter Van Gool's out of the race as well.
And look at the gap that Ashley Beard and Lorne Murray have been able to pull away from the Brian Holmes and Jamie Ayres. It's already 4-second difference. Remarkable,
really. Yeah, if Brian Holmes gets through and takes his 3rd position, he does have 9 3/4 minutes to get there, but with no slipstream, and Jamie Ayres refusing to give up, going to be a tough ask for him to get anywhere near those 2 guys at the front. Ash Beard leads them across the line to start lap 3 of the race. Jamie Ayres and Brian Holmes were separated by just under a 1/10 of a second at the line. And you can see Dan Hunt, the winner of race 2, he's back in the mix. He's back inside the top 5 and hits Jamie Ayres. Those 2 going at it. I believe they're teammates. They've both got the Momo branding on the car. And Dan Hunt has now picked up a bit of damage to the front left of his Mazda MX-5. Nothing new there. I'm sure he picked up exactly the same damage in race 1. And he's probably picked up the same in race 2. Round the outside of Eau Rouge, brilliant move, and that is not a brilliant move. Brian Holmes and oh, he's up and over. And around goes Kiva. This is going to be a big one here.
And they are directly into the traffic.
Rizzo, and that is, oh dear, that is...
That's 3 Momo cars involved in that one.
Quite appalling there.
That's Hefford, Ayres, Holmes, Giff Stevens, Matthew
Well,
Kieber.
Dan Hunt was able to escape without getting involved. But what was going on there? Just looking back on a replay, looks like, does Brian Holmes, I don't know if he hits the inside curve at Eau Rouge. I don't know whether that forces the car back across Jamie Ayres, but too wide on the exit of Eau Rouge really doesn't go well. And how does Matthew Kieber get involved in all this? He gets hit by Jamie Ayres, and Rizzo gets hit as well. They go back across the traffic. Well done, whoever, Lee Deemer. That's an onboard worthy watching. How he avoids that, goodness me. Lee Deemer was able to get up to 8th place out of all that. I don't know if we can get that on the replay, Sam.
Just about to get it. Okay, we're on board. Going towards Eau Rouge. Here through Radion. He can see the big mess happening in front of him. Just a whole bunch of smoke. Wow, that was really lucky.
Well, there you go. And now Lee Deemer's right in the thick of it now. This is his reward. He's in with a shout of more positions. He was 13th at the start of the lap. He's now 8th. And he's trying to get past Alan Mitchell. And that is Adam McNally. This is the battle over the top spot over inside the top 5 here. The guys at the eye of the storm, really. Not too many drivers survive that. We've got 17 cars left on track. 15 of them haven't made visits to the pits. McNally on the outside, Alan Mitchell up the inside. McNally's going to brake late here. He's going to try and hold it out round the outside into the bus stop chicane. And he is through. Car 68, that is Lee Deemer, man who we were on board with not too long ago. He's trying to get past Mitchell now as we come over the timing line to start lap 4 of the race. What a crazy lap 3 that's been. I'll tell you, the cars that are in we've got 2 cars that are definitely out as Mitchell goes back up the inside. Definitely out of Peter Van Gool and Adam Delmont. They're not coming back to the next session. Cars that are towed, Kip Stevens, Brian Holmes. He's definitely not going to have a good race 3. Steve Hefford, Lee Barmer, Jamie Ayres, Matthew Kieber. And a few cars that are now just coming into the pits. Cesare Rizzo, who was involved in the carnage at Eau Rouge, he's just made it back as well.
And the 2 guys who were able to avoid all of it, as Beard and Lord Murray, they've now been able to pull a 7-second gap over Dan Hunt. So it has really been in their favour, all this mess happening behind them.
Definitely. Car 26, Colin Robinson, he's done a fantastic move around the outside of everyone and is now up into 6th position. 3 wide into Lecom. Mitchell in the middle. On the outside is Lee Deemer, and Christophe Kiard decides to take a back seat here. Up the inside goes Deemer. The car nearly goes at the front there. Mitchell back up the inside into Malmedy, but it is Lee Deemer up into 7th place now, a gain of 14 positions. And Kiard up the inside of Mitchell as well. Mitchell gives him the room on the inside, but Mitchell's going to try and hold it out on the outside, which will quickly become the inside here into the corner with no name. The inside goes car 44, Alan Mitchell. Round the outside goes Christophe Kiard. He is just about clear, and for the time being at least, that should be Christophe Kiard up into 8th position now, and Alan Mitchell down to 9th.
Another guy who has had a fairly good race so far is Roy Verke. He's currently 10th and up 9 positions from the last race. And that's pretty much how his previous race went as well. He was able to avoid all the mess and got a good result out of it.
Yeah, one of the main beneficiaries from the chaos we saw in race 2. Roy Verke, car number 3, started in 19th place on the grid. Top 10 result for him in race 2. And yeah, now he's back inside the top 10 here, 10th position at the moment. He has got Rob Hartley right behind him though, one of the quickest drivers in the series. Rob Hartley already won 2 races this season, one at Laguna Seca and at Interlagos. McNally dropping down the order, I see. That must be one of the battles that's going on. Oh yeah, it's all kicking off here going into Blanchimont. Lee Deemer leading them through. Lee Deemer has now cracked the top 5, by the way, up to 5th. And in 6th it is Robinson. 7th Adam McNally. Into the bus stop chicane. All the cars going for the inside there, and you can see the Youth Energy car of Adam McNally trying to hold back Christoph Kiard, and McNally very out of shape there on the exit of the bus stop chicane, and that should open him up to attack from both sides. Here comes Alan Mitchell and Christoph Kiard. He's going to get swamped here going into the first corner.
Yeah, I don't think this is one of those corners where I want to go 3 wide.
Oh, well, Kiard nearly went into the wall there, and he was on the inside of the source. He was able to rescue it up. Here comes Alan Mitchell on the outside. He's going to cut back. Well done, Alan. I think that's good thinking there. Otherwise, we would have had a very messy situation on our hands here going into Eau Rouge. Around the outside, that doesn't work with Jamie Ayres and Brian Holmes. It just about did with those two. And just in front of them, Diemer and Robinson are going wheel to wheel. Also, Dan Hunt and Ben Landemore for the podium.
Yeah, these two have also been able to pull a nice gap over the rest and been able to just battle amongst themselves. And here comes Dan Hunt to the outside.
Whoops around the outside, and that is 3rd position for Dan Hunt. It's not over between Robinson and Diemer though, as they just head through Malmedy now. Diemer gets a good run on the exit of that 90-degree right-hander. There's a little look up the inside, but Robinson goes a bit deep actually, goes onto the marbles. That's going to take some saving. Lee Diemer is through into 5th place now. He's got back to that 5th position. 6th is Colin Robinson. Behind him there is the Frenchman Christophe Kiard. 8th Adam McNally. 9th is the Californian Rob Hartley.
Kiard is going inside line here.
Oh, into Pouon. Yeah, he is, and
I was looking for it, but not quite close enough.
very difficult to get an overtake done into Pouon. It's such a quick corner. And also Rob Hartley there in 8th position, races in the Ricmatech Sports Car Series that finished its season last Monday on Apex Racing TV. And when we get to the line, we're going to be starting the final lap of the race. And it's just worth noting that Ash Beard, our leader, hasn't won a race this season. At the moment, he's odds on for a victory. The top two, Beard and Murray, have just lapped Kip Stevens. So Kip Stevens hasn't had the best of race threes. The battle though continues over between Christophe Kiard and Colin Robinson, some as we go into Blanchimont, and also Rob Hartley and McNally.
Yeah, this is a battle between all of these guys, and it keeps chasing all the time.
Wow, Rob Hartley round the outside there. The Californian nearly lost it. He's been able to get past Colin Robinson as a result going into the bus stop chicane. It's Mine Iron Well. Contact between Kiard and car 68. That is Lee Diemer. 3 wide on the exit of the bus stop chicane. That's Rob Hartley coming around of a fair rate of knots. He's just going to sweep by all of them on the exit. He's up to 6th place. And all of a sudden it's an MHR Foxfoot Racing 5-6 here with Lee Diemer 5th. 6th is Rob Hartley. 7th is Christophe Kiard now up the inside into La Source for the final time, and he loses the front on the exit, and he's going to surely lose out big time here. Doesn't look that bad, but surely the straight line speed is going to hit him when they get into Eau Rouge.
Yeah, that's a very late move there, just wasn't able to hang on to it. I'm surprised that Adam McNally wasn't able to retaliate and take the 7th place from Clark, but maybe he didn't get a great run either, as he certainly didn't get a great run out of Radillion, and now he's under attack from Mitchell and Robinson.
This will be the final lap of the race. 10 seconds left on the clock. Here they go, 3 wide. Mitchell on the outside, McNally in the middle, and car 26, that is Colin Robinson on the inside going into Les Combes. Robinson gets out of it. In fact, they all get out of it. It all goes single file going into Les Combes. Alan Mitchell took a lot of the inside curve there. He was pretty much on the grass. And he's going to pay for that. Round the outside goes Adam McNally. Oh, scares Alan Mitchell off the road there. And now it's Adam McNally through into 8th. Down to 9th goes Alan Mitchell. And Colin Robinson holding on inside the top 10. This is the battle from 5th down to 10th. Rob Hartley starting to escape a bit now. He's in 5th. 6th is Lee Diemer. And then 7th, Christophe Kiard. He fancies an opportunity to split the 2 Foxfoot Racing drivers here on the final half a lap.
Yeah, looking at the positions, and this seems to be the main battle going on right now. The battle for the lead has calmed down. The Aspear is 2 seconds ahead of Murray. Same with the 3rd place between Dan Hunt and Landemore, 2 seconds between them.
Well, that big crash up at Radion on the third lap of the race really did spread out matters here. After Lorne Murray in second, it's a 10-second gap back to Dan Hunt in third, and then it's a 5-second gap to this top 5 battle between the Foxfoot cars of Rob Hartley, Dima and Christophe Kiard. Into the bus stop chicane then for the final time. His teammates have taken victory so far this season. Rob Hartley taken 2, Brian Holmes taking 3, and now Ashley Beard, the reigning champion, is going to get 1 on the board. Car 1 takes the win. Second for Lorne Murray, and it's kicking off here through Blanchimont, Alan Mitchell and McNally going at it. This might not end well. Christophe Kiard versus Lee Diemer as well into the bus stop chicane. Last lap, last corner. Up the inside goes Kiard, but I don't think he's going to do it. Yeah, the Foxwell car's going to get the run on the exit. Diemer will take the position, and it's going to be Alan Mitchell that finishes ahead of McNally as well. So Mitchell will take 8th, McNally 9th, and Colin Robinson rounds out the top 10.
And the burnouts have started.
Yes, they have. No reverse donuts here in the Mazda MX-5s. It's proper donuts here. Who's still on a lap? Kevin Woods is going to come across the line now and take 13th position. He's on his own. Same for Michael Barry and Rizzo and Martin Waltham. Jamie Ayres also on his own in 17th. Chapelewski 18th. 19th Hefford. 20th Barmer. They've just gone into Malmedy for the final time. These guys are the last 2 cars on the lead lap. Looks like Hefford's got a comfortable advantage over Lee Barmer, but it's still pretty close. These two are going to be fighting over 19th and 20th place.
Yeah, it's going to take a while before these guys get to the finish, and Cepileski, who we had high hopes for him, or at least we expect him to do well, all the way, is that 17th?
I don't think I said on air that I thought he was going to win, but I was quietly confident that he'd have what it takes to get the win. Unfortunately, it barely lasted about a few hundred metres, really. He's just going through Blanchimont now. Lost it on the exit of Eau Rouge. Contact with, I think it was Peter Van Gool. I'll have to look back at a replay later, but Stanislav Chapelewski going into the final corner now, and he isn't able to repeat the victory of Silverstone last week. We'll be hoping for better things next week at Donington Park, one of my favourite racetracks, as he comes across the line now and takes 18th position. Got some useful points there for Cheppy, and now we wait for Steve Hefford and Lee Barmer. Cars that started inside the top 10 that finished there, only 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up what happened today, and one of the main reasons behind that was that huge incident we saw on the exit of Eau Rouge between Brian Holmes and Jamie Ayres, and pretty much the whole midfield got involved in that. Only 13 cars finished without taking a visit to the pits. Only one of those cars that made a visit to the pits was able to do it under their own steam. Mick Barry was the only one that made it back. Everyone else had to tow back after what was a huge incident at Eau Rouge. Right then, that's everyone across the line.
Okay, so shall we go over the results?
Hey then, Ash Beard takes the win, his first win of the season for the reigning champion. I don't think he was expecting it to take 12 races. Lorne Murray finishing in second. Third is Dan Hunt. 4th Ben Landemore. 5th Rob Hartley. 6th Lee Diemer. 7th Christophe Kiard. 8th Alan Mitchell. 9th Adam McNally. And Colin Robinson rounding out the top 10. Roy Verke finishing in 11th place. He just wasn't able to hold on to that top 10 spot. 12th for Max Wright. 13 positions gains from him. 14th for Mick Barry. We're into the cars that made pit stops now. Shows you how many cars had a clean, well, sort of clean race. Rizzo 15th, 16th Martin Waltham, 17th Jamie Ayres, 18th Steny Chapelewski, 19th Steve Hefford, and 20th Lee Barmer, 21st Kip Stevens, 22nd Matthew Keeber, 23rd Brian Holmes, and then the cars that retired from the race. Peter Van Gool, he was out after not too long, and the same for Adam Delmont. Started on the pole as well. Did not go at all well for Adam Delmont, the Youth Energy driver, in that final race. And then, is any driver willing to speak to us? It doesn't look like it. The Club 73 Touring Car Championship that is on at the same time as us is at Monza tonight. Let's see how they are getting on in the race. They're on the final lap, so we will quickly round things up here. You can get over to that. Next week, the BSR Mazda MX-5 heads to Donington Park we'll be there for that. 8 PM British Summer Time, 9 PM Central European Time. And yeah, my thanks to Sam Kumo for being on the cameras, joining me in the commentary box. It's been a pretty chaotic race meeting here, and brilliant one as well. Well done to Brian Holmes, to... Oh, I've forgotten the race 2 winner. To Brian Holmes, to Dan Hunt, and to Ash Beard. We'll see you at Donington Park next week. Over to the Club 73 Championship, and it's a ciao a tutti to Andrew Woodhouse. From all of us here, good night.